Jai Hind everyone. I am Vivek Kumar Pansari, Assistant Professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. So, in this particular video, I am going to discuss about beams and how to find out the support reactions. So, before moving towards the beam, it is necessary to understand about what is basically the beam is, okay, and where it is generally used. So, first of all, the first thing which comes in our mind, beams. So, what is basically the beam is? The content of this video will be related to beams, different type of supports, different type of loads, and definitely some problems related to beams and support reaction. So, the very first question which will be answered here, it's what is beam? Beam is a horizontal structural member. What it is? Beam is a horizontal structural member. It means if we are considering any structure, so the member of that structure which is horizontal with respect to the plane. So, a beam is a horizontal structural member which supports transverse load. So, generally we can say it is a horizontal structural member, and structures are generally made for what purpose? Structures are generally made for supporting the load. So, beam is one of them. Beam is part of that member which support transverse load. Transverse load means the loads are perpendicular to its length. So, this is what the beam is. There may be vertical members also in a structure. Okay. These vertical members are generally known as columns, these are known as pillars, but generally beam is a horizontal structural member and it is supporting the load. It is so supporting in which manner? Supporting in which manner? So, if I am considering it as a beam, if I am considering this as a beam and it is supported like this, okay, it is supported, just simply supported, okay, simply supported, nothing, okay, it is a roller or it is a knife edge or it is a fixed, normally it is supported. So, this type of support is normally known as simple support. So, if both ends of the beam rest on a simple support, the support is known as simple support. Now, if the support is having some specific type, it means if it is like a roller. So, if the beam is supported on that type of support which is roller, just we can consider the example of skates. So, below the skates what we find? We find some roller. So, that is also supporting the load. Okay. So, this type of some arrangement is there, then the support is known as roller support. Okay. Another type of support which can be there, okay, that is a hinge type of support. So, suppose if I have put a hinge here, okay, just like a door, if I am considering a door, okay. So, if it is hinged here, then it can rotate like this, okay, it can rotate like this, but can it be translated from this point either in horizontal direction or in vertical direction? So, now just consider the case of beam. If beam is hinged here, okay, so it can rotate, but it cannot translate neither in horizontal plane nor in vertical plane from the point where it is hinged. So, this type of support is known as hinged support. Another type of support which is generally used when we are dealing with beam, it is a fixed type. So, suppose now if this beam is fixed, so what is happening here? Neither it can translate horizontally, vertically, nor the rotation. So, these type of supports generally built-in supports. So, if I have fixed something in wall, okay, some fabricators are doing all these things for supporting some loads. So, they fixed one end of the beam in the wall. So, these type of supports are known as fixed support. What is the difference between fixed and hinge? In hinge, the rotation was permitted. but in fixed support the rotation is restricted. Rotation is restricted. So, this is what the difference between fixed and hinge support. So, we have discussed about simple support, roller support, hinge support and fixed supports. So, these are the generally used support when we are dealing with beams. These are some pictorial representation for. So, for simple support, okay, what we are seeing, the beam is simply supported and its motion is constrained. Its motion is constrained. Translational motion is constrained. In which direction it is constrained? It is constrained vertically downward. So, against that constrainment there will be reaction force which will be vertically upward. So, whenever we are dealing with simple supports, its motion of the beam in translation vertically downward is restricted. So, against this restriction there will be vertical reaction force. Here is the pictorial representation of roller type of support. So, you can see the rollers here, roller here also, rollers here also. Okay. So, what we are observing? Obviously, because of the roller, the beam, there is a translational possibility in horizontal direction, but there is no possibility of translation in vertical plane. So, its motion is constrained vertically downward. Here also in the second example you can see the vertical motion, vertically downward motion is constrained. Here again, if the plane is inclined on which roller is placed, so perpendicular to this plane downward motion is constrained. So, against the restriction of motion there will be reaction. So, here the reaction is upward, here also the reaction is perpendicularly upward, here the reaction is perpendicular to the plane, So, this is what with the roller support. Now, if I am coming to the hinge support, in hinge, in which two direction the motion is restricted? If it is hinged, so the motion is restricted in horizontal plane, in vertical plane. So, against these two restrictions there will be two reactions, there will be, so one is horizontal reaction, another one is vertical reaction. So, these are two reaction forces here, but the rotation is permitted, But when we come to the built-in support or fixed support, what we are observing? We are observing that this is fixed. So, translation in both the direction, in horizontal as well as in vertical, it is restricted and the rotation is also restricted. So, because of these three constrainment, there are three reactions, one horizontal, another one vertical and the reactive moment also. Okay. So, these are the restrictions. So, these are the different types of support. Generally in questions these are represented in this particular manner. Now, what are the different types of beam? Simply supported beam, very clear, simply supported beam, there is nothing much. If the beam is supported on simple supports, if both ends of the beam are supported on simple support, okay. So, that is what we can call simply supported beam, that is what we can call it, simply supported beam. The motion is constrained in translation, okay. So, here we can see the simply supported beam, the beams are said to be simply supported if their support creates only the translational constraint. So, here with this we can see the translation is, vertical translation is constrained. Fixed beam, as I discussed in fixed support also, okay. So, again the same type of diagram is there, its motion is constrained. So, beam is fixed, okay. It is fixed support. When we are calling it cantilever, when one end of the beam is supported, fixed and other end is free. So, this type of arrangement is known as cantilever type of arrangement. So, a beam which is supported on the fixed support means translation in both the planes and the rotation. These three constraints are there. So, that is why three reactions are there and one end is fixed, other is free. So, one end is fixed, other is free. So, this type of arrangement of beam is known as cantilever type of beam and the support is known as fixed support. Another type of beam is overhanging beam. Overhanging beam, if I say the supports are not exactly at the ends, if the supports are slightly inside, either from one side or from both the side, okay. So this type of arrangement of beam is known as overhanging beam, okay. So simply supported is done, overhanging is done, cantilever is done. If I call fixed beam, so fixed beam means what? If both ends are fixed, if both ends are fixed. So this earlier it was a cantilever type of beam, one end is fixed, other is free. If I am saying this is a fixed beam, then both supports, both ends of the beam are fixed support, okay. So this is what known as fixed beam. Continuous beam, continuous beam means what? If number of supports are there at equal distance, if number of supports are there at equal distance, okay. So this type of beam is known as continuous beam. So these are the different types of beam we generally deal with: simply supported, overhanging, cantilever, fixed and continuous. Out of these, some are in the category of statically determinate and some are in the category of statically indeterminate. From where these two terms are coming? These two terms are related to mathematical relation. If I am dealing with two-dimensional force analysis of the beam, then we are having how many equilibrium equations? We are having 3 equilibrium equations. These 3 equilibrium equations are sigma fx equal to 0, sigma fy equal to 0 and moment about any point equals to 0. These 3 equations are available with us: sigma fx, sigma fy and sigma m equal to 0. So if mathematically we are having 3 equations, then how many unknowns we can determine? We can determine only 3 unknowns from 3 mathematical equations. So statically determinate, it means we are talking about the static equilibrium. Determinate means the support reactions can be determined. So if number of unknown reactions are not more than 3, then the beams is in the category of statically determinate, else it is known as statically indeterminate. So here we can see in simply supported or overhanging, it is a overhanging beam, either the support is roller or hinged. So how many reaction? If I say this is a beam, the one end is hinged, at the other end the support is roller. So how many support reactions will be there? 2 when I am removing the hinge support and 1 when I am removing the roller support. So how many unknown reaction forces are there? There are 3 unknown reaction forces and equations of equilibrium available with this is 3: sigma fx, sigma fy and sigma m equal to 0. So it comes into the category of statically determinate. But when I am dealing with fixed type of beam, so here at one fixed support we are having 3 unknowns and again here we are having 3 unknowns. So how many unknowns are there? 6 unknowns. Equations of equilibrium available are 3. So it comes under the category of statically indeterminate type of beam. So this is what one more classification from the mathematics is statically determinate and statically indeterminate type of beam. Okay. If we are dealing with beams, then definitely we have to deal with the load. So point load, uniformly distributed load, uniformly varying load and sometimes a pure moment also. Okay. So how to deal with all these type of load? Point load, simple, as we are representing the force. So in the similar manner, if load can be marked, okay, either vertically downward or at inclined at some plane. But when we are dealing with uniformly distributed load, it means on entire length or partial length of the beam, the load is distributed uniformly. Say for example, if on a table some books are spreaded, same books are spreaded. So obviously the load distribution from the book on the entire length and width of the center table, it will be uniform. So this type of loading is known as uniformly distributed load. How to deal with, because when we have to apply the equilibrium equation, then we have to convert it into a single load. So if W is the intensity of this load and over the length A it is spreaded, over a length A it is spreaded. So if I have to convert it into a single load, then it will be W into A. It will be how much? W into A. And where it will be? It will be at the midpoint of the length over which it is spreaded. So A by 2, it will be at the midpoint. But if the load is varying, if I am one book here, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, like this, if I am making the slope of this, then this is the uniform variation. Why the word uniform is used here? Because the intensity is changing with respect to distance uniformly with a single slope. So this is the uniform variation. And how to deal with this type of condition? So what we are observing? We are observing to deal with, if I can do this here, if I can make the complete rectangle. So we are observing the same type of representation here. So it will be W into A, but this much of portion has been removed. So how much it is left now? Half into W into A. So that's why it is written over here. Okay, if we are dealing with uniformly varying load, then it will be half into W into A, and W is the intensity. W is the intensity of the uniformly varying load. And where it will be effective? So as in this case it was on the centroid or CG of the rectangle, so here also it will be at the centroid of this triangle, because triangular representation is there. So on that triangle it will be. So the centroid for triangle is, it is from 2a by 3 distance from start point, 2a by 3 from start point. So I hope it is clear ki how to deal with point load, UDL and uniformly varying load. Now for making the things more clear, it is necessary to deal with some problem for finding out the support reaction. So here we can see one simple example. A beam AB is there and it is supported on hinge support at point A and at point B. Okay, it is supported in this manner. So at point A and B, these are the simple supports over there, and from A to point midpoint of this, a UDL is there of 200 Newton per meter intensity, and at the midpoint there is a load vertically downward which is 3000 Newton. So for finding out support reaction, we are having three equations of equilibrium. We can apply either of these three, sigma fx, sigma fy and sigma m equal to 0. Here for considering the equilibrium, we are applying the sigma ma equal to 0. What does it mean? The algebraic sum of all the moments due to various forces about point A is equal to 0. So what are the moments about point A? So first identify the forces. First force is Ra. First is Ra. Second force is the net load of this UDL. How much it will be? It will be 200 into 4. 200 is the intensity, 4 is the length, and 3000 Newton load, and this Rb. So moment due to Ra about point A due to Ra. Ra is passing through point A, so there will be no moment because of this. 200 into 4, this is the net effective load of UDL, this much UDL. So it is effective at the midpoint of 4 meters. So obviously it will be at 2 meters of distance from point A. So 200 into 4 into 2, 200 into 4 into 2. Tendency of rotation, it will be clockwise. So here if I have taken it negative, the clockwise rotational tendency, then obviously anti-clockwise I will be taking as positive. So this is the one rotational tendency. Another one is 3000 into 4. This is also clockwise tendency about point A, 3000 into 4, so minus. And from RB about point A, the rotational tendency will be anti-clockwise. So RB into 8, RB into perpendicular distance. And by solving this, the answer is coming RB equal to 1700 Newton. Another equation which we can use, sigma Fy equal to 0. What we can use? Sigma Fy equals to 0. Sigma Fy equal to 0 means what? The algebraic sum of forces in vertical direction. So how many forces? Ra and Rb. These two forces are vertically upward, and two forces, two loads, 200 into 4, which is UDL, and 3000. These are vertically downward. So Ra plus Rb equal to 200 into 4 plus 3000. So from this we can get Rb is already available. So Ra will be 2100 Newton. Another example we can take, there is a representation of UVL, okay, uniformly varying load. It is varying from A to B, and in the length of L, its intensity becomes W per unit length. Okay, so by considering the equilibrium of this, what can we do? We can apply either the sigma Fy equal to 0, or we can apply the moment equation. So here we have chosen the equilibrium, moment equilibrium equation. So sigma mb equals to 0. It means the algebraic sum of moments due to various forces about point B. So first, what are the forces? If it is a simply supported beam, then there will be one reaction force Ra. Here there will be another reaction force, it is Rb, and it is UVL. So its net effective load will be half into W into L, area of this triangle. And where it will be effective? From the start point of UVL, it will be at 2L by 3, and from end point of this, it will be L by 3. So now apply the moment equation. Moment due to Rb about point B, 0, as Rb passes through point B. Moment due to Ra about point B, so Ra into perpendicular distance, so Ra into L. Moment due to UVL, net load of UVL, which is half into W into L, WL by 2, and the distance of half into W into L from point B, it is L by 3, clearly mentioned here. So the Ra is coming out WL by 6. Similarly, we can apply the moment equation about point A. So it will be Rb into L minus half into W into L into 2L by 3. What it will be? Our moment about point A, Rb into L minus half into W into L into 2L by 3 equals to 0. So by solving these two equations, we will be getting Ra and Rb. So that's the way we can find out some support reactions. Here we can take one more example. Here the supports are clearly shown here. At point A, there is a roller support, so there will be vertically upward reaction force. At point D, there is a hinge support, so here the two reaction forces will be there. One is RdV, another one will be RdH. So both are shown, RdH and RdV. From point A to B, there is an UDL of 1 kilonewton per meter intensity. At point C, there are two things. One is the 4 kilonewton downward load and a pure moment of 2 kilonewton per meter intensity. At point F, there are two forces, 2 kilonewton vertically downward and 2 under root 3 horizontal. So now here is the scope of applying all the three equations: sigma fx equal to 0, sigma fy equal to 0, and sigma m equal to 0. By applying sigma fx equal to 0, what I am applying? Sigma fx equal to 0. So how many horizontal forces are there? There is no horizontal force, no horizontal force, no horizontal force. At point D, we are having RdH. And at point F, we are having 2 root 3. So RdH minus 2 under root 3 equals to 0. So RdH is coming out 2 under root 3. Now apply sigma Fy equal to 0. Sigma Fy equal to 0. So if I am applying sigma Fy equal to 0, then at point A, Ra, between A to B there is UDL, so minus 1 into the length of this UDL is 2, so 1 into 2. At point C there is 4 kilonewton load, so minus 4. At point D there is vertically upward, so it will be R dV. At point F vertically downward, so minus 2 equals to 0. So here the equation is written, Ra plus RdV equal to 1 by 2 plus 4 plus 2 equal to 8. So Ra plus RdV equal to 8. So this is coming out. Another equation which we can apply, the moment equation. Whatever the point you want to choose, you can choose. Okay, so either the moment about point A or moment about point D. So the point, the choice is ours, choice is always ours, what point we want to choose. If we want to choose A point, then we can take moment about point A, or if we want to choose D point. So here I am going to select the point D. Why? Because number of forces passing through point D are more. RdV, RdH, 2 under root 3. These three forces are passing through point D. So moment equation will be slightly smaller. Okay. So RdH, RdV and 2 under root 3, these three forces. So now take moment about point D. Moment due to Ra. So Ra into perpendicular distance, Ra into 6. Then moment due to UDL. So 1 into 2 is the load where it will be effective at the midpoint. From here the distance will be 1 meters, and from point D the distance will be 5 meters. So 1 into 2 into 2 plus 2 plus 2 by 2. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 by 2. Okay. Then I am coming to this moment, 2 kilonewton meter pure moment, it is there. So it is pure moment about point D. Okay. Then moment due to 4 kilonewton load, 4 kilonewton into 2, so 4 into 2. Moment due to 2 kilonewton, moment due to 2 kilonewton, 2 into 1. This is having clockwise tendency. This 2 kilonewton is having clockwise tendency, others anti-clockwise tendency. So because of clockwise and anti-clockwise rotational tendency, algebraic sum can be taken, and by solving all these three equations we can get Ra, RdH and RdV. So this is the way we can find out the support reactions at beams. So I hope by doing all this discussion you will be able to understand what are the different type of beams, what are the different type of supports, what are the different type of loads, and how to deal with small problems related to beams and support reactions. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you very much.